All right, so I'm going to be talking about the cell membrane and its structure. So the cell membrane structure is held together by phospholipids. This forms what we call the phospholipid bilayer. As we see here, the structure of the phospholipids are the head and the tails. The tails are connected and the heads are facing the water. The reason for this is because the head, these little gray dots, are hydrophilic. They like water, they have an affinity for water. The tails are hydrophobic. This allows for selective permeability.
So we know that osmosis is the movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane according to the concentration gradient of water across the membrane, which is inversely proportional to the concentration of solutes. Remember, osmosis only transports water across the membrane. So basically the process is when a cell is submerged in water, the water molecules pass through the cell membrane from an area of low solute concentration to high solute concentration. This process occurs when there's a difference in molecular concentration of water on the two sides of the membrane. The membrane allows the solvent to move through but keeps out the solute. A hypotonic solution, however, has less solute and higher water potential than inside the cell. Next, we have diffusion. It's one form of passive transport that doesn't require the expenditure of cellular energy. A molecule can diffuse passively through the cell membrane if it's lipid soluble, uncharged, and very small, or if a carrier molecule can assist it.
The cell membranes have quite a few functions, but we're only going to be talking about a few key components of it. The cell membrane separates the cell from the rest of the outside world, so it does give protection to organelles and it gives a sturdy shape to the cell. Controls passage of molecules across membranes. This is where selective permeability comes in, and it allows water-soluble things to enter the cell. Provides surface for enzyme reactions. So the cell membrane gives quite a bit of surface area, and for surface area, you need surface area for metabolic processes to be conducted, and without that, not much processes would go through. Proteins embedded in the cell membrane contribute to function. So this is where you get the selective channels, carrier proteins, receptors. Within the cell, you get gap junctions, which help with transmission of certain elements.
So another important part about cell membranes are the proteins that are found on the cell membrane to help with transportation of molecules across the membrane. So there's integral membrane proteins, which are permanently part of the cell membrane, and these can either penetrate the membrane or associate with the other side of a membrane. And then there's the peripheral membrane proteins, which are associated with the cell membrane, and their main function is to help molecules that can't pass through the cell membrane easily to make their way in.